So in this video, I want to show you the construct of the 4-funnel system and how I go about the setup process. So, all the way through the BPM method training is how I set up ad accounts, whether it's for myself or for clients. So every step-by-step process that you're going through right now is based on what we're doing right now as well. So part of that is me showing you how it's all constructed, but then also giving you the documents that we use as well so that you can get the best success for your business or for your clients, whoever's doing it. So the first one that I want to kind of focus on, the first tab I want to focus on in the 4-funnel system cheat sheet is the template. So when it comes to creating my ad account, I'm thinking about where I am right now. So if it's a brand new ad account, brand new business, brand new website, I don't really have much to play on. That plays a part in how I construct my audiences and do my research and etc. If I have an established business, especially if I take on an established business, then that funnel will look different because I've got data to play with. So what I've done here is to share with you 2 sample templates. I want to stress that this is not exactly what you need to do, but I've given you 2 templates here that we use as a base for e-com and digital products using the 4-funnel system. So there's 4 levels here based on the temperature of the customer through your funnel. Cold customers are people that have not engaged and not clicked in any ad. So for all intents and purposes, they don't know who you are. Then the warm layer is people that have engaged but not clicked. So people that engage may have viewed a video, may have subscribed to an email list and bypassed your website completely, or they could be just people that are fans, for example. Then for me, the definition of hot is someone that's clicked onto your website, and of course there'll be different temperature gradings based on how far down your particular funnel they've got. So someone that's visited a blog page is a different level of quality to someone that's visited your product page or your cart page. And then existing customers are people that have already purchased, and then how you handle those is then going to drive your lifetime value, loyalty, referral, and things like that. So let me just take you through the stage by stage of the funnels, of the 4-funnel system, and how I go about the setup. So when I'm going through the top part of the funnel, I'm trying to figure out alongside my 5W avatar who I'm targeting and what ad angles I'm trying to get to test and to try and get performance from. So the testing process falls out of the back of this. That's why all the way through this program, we've gone through and constructed the different parts that you need to create a test plan, which by the time you start testing is going to give you greater success. So my approach is not to just fire up hundreds of different ads and hundreds of different ad sets and see what works, because the problem with that is once you find something that works, it's hard to repeat that. Your ads start to burn out, your audiences burn out, and you get a business which has massive peaks and troughs. So you have good performance, bad performance, good performance, bad performance. I want to create stability right from the start, and this is, I guess this is one of the secrets in how we do that, is the step-by-step process, and I want you to take that away. So the first part is building those cold audiences up based on the 5W avatar. Who we target is then based on the audience research, and whether we have existing data or if we don't. And that plays a part, as you've seen in the training, hopefully already, on how we create those audiences. And the objectives, these are just examples that we use at different parts of the funnel. Sometimes you might only use a conversion campaign. Maybe you don't need a dynamic product ad at the top of the funnel or a page post engagement ad, or maybe all you do top of funnel is video views, especially if you're in the info product space. The higher ticket products that I promote will be with video views, and then we remarket to them based on them watching a video. So the top of funnel is really based on the 5W avatar in terms of who we're targeting, what kind of ads we're creating at the top of funnel. Then this column here is about defining who you're excluding. So the way I like to set up my funnels is to really simplify that the top of the funnel is cold, and then I exclude the level below. So if I'm running cold ads to broad audiences, lookalikes, etc., I'm excluding anyone in this warm layer, which could be video viewers, fans, email subscribers, etc. And the same goes down as well. So I'm excluding all 3 of these levels. From my cold, I'm excluding the 2 levels below from my warm, and then from hot, I'm only excluding 1 level. And then within this level, you aren't excluding any parts of your funnel, but you will be excluding the micro parts. So if you're targeting people that bought 6 months ago, and you've got a separate campaign targeting people that purchased 3 months ago, then you'd exclude the 3-month purchases from the 6 months, for example. So that's kind of how I build up my excludes. Then, this is just giving an example of the angles. So opportunities or problems being solved, intrigue, excitement, emotional hooks, etc. That comes from the 5W avatar and the training I've shared on creating ads on the 3N ads formula and getting the best reaction at that part of the funnel that's going to give you a good click-through rate. Doesn't mean high is going to be better, and that's something we've already discussed. A good click-through rate and a high conversion rate. So if I'm balancing out, do I want high click-through rate or high conversion rate, I'd always go for conversion. So once they're in your funnel, I want that to be as high as possible, which doesn't always mean I get the highest click-through rate. So I've had ads which for e-com have generated 0.8% CTR click-through rate, 1% click-through rate, but on the conversion side, they're converting at 4%, 5%, which is pretty good for many e-com stores. But that gives me great performance, not just on my CPA and my ROAS, but from Facebook as well in the auction. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about here. I've given these budget estimates as real high level. This is a budget estimate of an established account. And what I mean by that is, obviously, if you've just started off the ad account and the website, you probably don't have any budget to put into retargeting because you don't have anyone to retarget. This is based on once things are operational, this is kind of how the budget split looks. And I've already shared an example in a previous video of two ad accounts and kind of the budget splits of kind of how that looks. And this is just as a benchmark. Generally, it depends on the type of product you're selling and the niche and the value. You will generate, you'll spend most of your money on cold, and how many sales come through then depends on how you've set up your funnel. It's common that, the majority of your spend comes from the top of the funnel, but the majority of conversion comes from the bottom. But it really depends on the type of products, niche, and product value as well. So this is the kind of campaign structure for cold. Then for warm, it's about, thinking about if someone's watched your ad top of funnel, why have they not engaged and gone further? So that's what I'm trying to now break down. And then into my hot, this is people that have clicked, and I would split the audiences based on the value to me and what I want to message to them. So here's the thing. I see people separately target people that have added to cart versus people that have viewed the product page, but they're running the same ad to them. If that's the case, why not just combine the two? Because bigger audiences work better, and especially in retargeting, those smaller audiences can cause instability as well. Now, you may decide that for some reason you do want to split them because you want to manage the budget separately, but even then, it's like, when you create a lookalike and you combine a 1% lookalike of purchasers with a 1% lookalike of add to cart, you're creating a super lookalike. Same applies with your retargeting as well. So if you're combining people that have viewed the product and view the cart, and your message is exactly the same because it could be a dynamic product ad, for example, combining those into one audience can make a huge difference in performance as well. So the kind of ads generally that work here, testimonials, reviews, proof of authority, etc. Now, when it comes to the 5W avatar, the ads that I'm running at these two layers are my barriers, the reasons not to buy. Because at this level, if I've shared my angle and some of the emotional and functional benefits, but I haven't got them to buy, then something's missing. Now, it could be that the consideration phase of your product is a bit higher, but let's say, for example, you're selling a $50 or $100 e-com product. If you haven't convinced them with the first click and the first visit to the site, then you need to think back and say, right, is it that someone needs to just think about it, in which case I'll just serve up some retargeting ads as a reminder? Or have I actually missed something in my landing page and therefore I need to deliver it in my retargeting message? So for example, if, let's say for example, you're selling apparel. The problem with selling apparel online is that you can't check the fit properly. Now, if you can't check the fit, can you send it back? We had a client that in our retargeting ads, we didn't do it so much in the product page. In our retargeting ads, we were making it clear as one of the messages that you can return it for free within 30 days. When we actually shifted to have that on the product page, the average order value actually went up. Now, why is this? The reason was that people were buying more than they otherwise would because they were comforted by the fact that you could return it back for free within 30 days. And we did see an uptick in returns, but the net positive and profitability in ROAS, considering the cost of returns and everything else, was far greater than not having it. So, the barriers for not buying are both for your retargeting page and also your product page, to think about how you can convert them. So these are all kind of conversion metrics and kind of thinking about how we can get someone back into our funnel and buy. So there's different ways, and we've discussed in the pixel section of how to pixel people and retarget people a bit more intelligently as well. Then into existing customers, this for me is money left on the table if you're not retargeting existing customers. So it could be doing a post-purchase sequence right after they've purchased. It could be bringing people in that have not purchased for a while, and for example, people buy every few months. It could be lapses. Lapses are people that are out of that kind of process and they're not buying again. It could be retargeting your VIP customers. It could be targeting your high-value customers, or different things. One of the things I look at is RFM, recency, frequency, and monetary value. Recency is how recent have they bought. Frequency is how frequently have they bought. And monetary value is essentially how much of that money have they spent with you. And when you start to model that for your existing customers, you'll get an idea for who are your VIPs, who actually buys more frequently, who are your new customers, and you can segment them and target them differently. I would always combine email with Facebook ads. Primarily email is better because obviously you've got the customer, you don't have to pay for them again, but you can use email as well alongside Facebook to coexist and co-supplement the messages you're pushing out as well. So that's kind of the construct of the system. We've got the funnel also for digital products. And this is just an example that we've put here to give you an idea for how that might be structured slightly differently. So audiences generally the same in cold and warm, but what we've done here is just to give you an example of different kinds of audiences. So opt-in page visits, webinar or video sales letter page, time viewed, payment page, and other key metrics as well. And then the same thing applies here. So really this is a reference template for you to think about how to construct your funnel system. And one of the key things about this is there are so many different audiences that you can create. And what I've done is to share with you a mega list of audience ideas. This is by no means exhaustive, and this is something we update now and again as well, but it gives you an idea of who you can target and all the different types of targeting as well. So whether it's an engaged audience, cold, you can create lookalikes from different aspects of your customer data, your website customer audience, etc. Different types of hot audiences, who you can target, existing customer ideas, etc. So absolutely look at this for ideas on who you can target as well. And then what we've done is to give you a template for you to complete your own funnel system. So the way that I use this is I take the big idea from my 5W avatar, and then I start filling out how I'm going to target and how I'm going to build that campaign up as well. So there's an example here. So I've used a uniquely personalized gift for him or her to celebrate important life events. The big idea is my what from my 5W avatar, which you should link to the two documents together so you can kind of cross-reference them as well. And then what I do here is I don't list every single audience that I'm going after. This is just the high level of the general audiences that I'm targeting. So here I'm targeting male and female 18 plus, website customer audience lookalikes and interests, just to give me a reference point of what's going on. Then I've got all my creative angles here. I've got my angles here for my warm audience and my hot, and then I've got my audiences. So for this particular campaign, I'm not going all out and putting everything. I've got 3 engaged audiences: people that watch 50% of videos, my fans, and people that have engaged with my page. And then here I'm only targeting the people that have visited my product page and my cart, and that's it for my retargeting. And then I have a post-purchase sequence. So the template is here, and I've just given you this, that you can actually use this, make a copy of it and create your own, because this becomes a reference point for that avatar. So I know that that avatar has been thought out in terms of my funnel, and then what that allows me to do is also use this as a reference for future avatars and to brief that to my team. Now, if you're running your own ad accounts, this becomes a reference point for you, but if you're, especially if you're working with a team, it becomes a great way to share that on, you know, what your expectations are, and this is building into your research. So this part of the training, building up your full funnel system, we've talked about audiences, account setup, ads, you know, how to construct the ads, how to do your audience research. That all plugs into this document. So now I know what audiences I'm going after, what kind of angles I'm looking to pitch, and this becomes the briefing that I put in place ahead of creating my test campaigns. So if you're running ads already, or whether it's a new account or existing, this makes a big difference to helping you to think about how to brief your team or your designer or whatever it is to start creating those ads, or even for yourself as a reference point. And from this, I create my graduation testing plan, which is what we'll be covering in the next set of videos.